What is spiritual awakening? Spiritual awakening is the realization that you are fully human and fully spiritual. Spiritual awakening is your everyday experience, seen correctly, which is why it is called an awakening. Hi, and welcome to this video on spiritual awakening. I'm James Traverse. The true nature of your being is not within the realm of knowledge, as that which is known, or that which can be known through something like book learning, and yet it is not unknowable. Since the true nature of your being is not within the realm of knowledge, it cannot be objectified and spoken about. And yet we can speak of objects and appearances in a certain way, such that they are seen in a new light. For example, we can speak of the true nature of your being in the same way that we speak of love. As love, like your true nature, is not something that can be objectified within the realm of knowledge. And yet we know via experience that love is not unknowable. And we also know that it is the nature of love to love, as it is what it does. Now, what I just said is extremely important. So let me say it again in a slightly different way. How is love known? It is the nature of love to love. Thus, love is known via what it does, how it appears. In this way, how it appears is how love is objectified, and thereby how it is known. Another great pointer is how we understand what is called energy. How would Albert Einstein respond when we ask him, what is energy? Since he was a pure scientist, Einstein would answer, we don't know what energy is. We understand it via what it does. History shows us that Einstein went even further by showing that energy and matter are related, as he literally defined their relationship with his famous equation E equals mc squared. Today we know that when we plant an acorn in fertile ground, that after some years there will be an oak tree at that location. In this case, we understand that what unfolds is that the information in the acorn's DNA orders the elemental energies of fire as heat and light from our sun, air as carbon dioxide and other gases in our atmosphere, water as rain and groundwater, and earth as the elements in the soil, to materialize as an oak tree, and that this form appears in space. We also know that we can reverse this process by setting fire to the oak tree, such that the elements that are in this particular formation are released. The masters of many ancient wisdom traditions, like ones from India, China, Greece, and others, help us understand how the vibrational nature of essential elements appear in objective form. For example, when you see an iceberg at sea on a partially cloudy day, what is seen is water in distinct degrees of vibration as the ionosphere, which is the ionized part of Earth's upper atmosphere, is what scientists call the plasma form of matter. This is the fire element. The clouds, which are water vapor, are what scientists call the gas form of matter. This is the air element. The water of the ocean is what scientists call the liquid form of matter. This is the water element. And the ice is what scientists call the solid form of matter. This is the earth element. And we know that we can cause the change from one form of matter to the other by adding or removing energy as heat. In a similar light, we see that ancient sages took the approach of speaking of how the true nature of your being appears, rather than trying to define it. Thus, they depicted how it appears as what it does. And the most accurate description of how the true nature of your being appears is the Om symbol, as illustrated in the Mandukya Upanishad. The Mandukya Upanishad is the shortest Upanishad, and its content is pure wisdom. The word Mandukya means frog, and it represents a kind of jump from one state of consciousness to another. The Om symbol is composed of a background and 4 progressive degrees of manifestation, objectification, and a crescent that represents the veiling power of superimposition as follows. The blankness of the background of the Om symbol is represented here by blackness. This signifies that your true nature itself cannot be objectified. The rest of the symbol represents that which can be objectified, and thereby how you are known. The first appearance is a dot, called Turiya in Sanskrit, which means the 4th relative to the other 3 more dense states of consciousness. Although it is called the 4th relative to the others, it is truly the 1st. The dot is a point in space that has location, yet no dimension. This is the I am, or more accurately, simply am, as the knowing quality that you exist. The next form that appears is a crescent, which is called Maya in Sanskrit, and it represents superimposition as the veil of separation. This superimposition solidifies via the densest degree of manifestation, and, as will be shown later, it is the reason behind the mistaken conclusion that you are separate. The next degree of density is the upper wave, which represents deep sleep, or Sushupti in Sanskrit. At this level, there is being, yet still no dimension, as deep sleep is experienced as a blankness. This is the causal level of being, as although it is experienced as a blankness, the seed of your current manifestation, which includes the mistaken conclusion of separation, is present, such that you remember what you appear as on waking. Dream consciousness is the next degree of density, called Swapna in Sanskrit. This is represented as a whirlpool, or a wave curving back on itself, such that there is a localized form. This is experienced as a dreamer and a dreamer's world. This is the subtle level of consciousness, as form here is purely mental, and it also includes the mistaken conclusion of separation. Finally, there is the densest degree of manifestation, which is waking consciousness, called Jagrat in Sanskrit. This is represented by the bottom and largest wave of the form. This is experienced as a waker and a waker's world. This is the most common state of consciousness, and it is the gross level of consciousness. It appears as a physical body, mind, and world in space and time. It is in the state of waking consciousness that the mind as Maya most thoroughly superimposes the idea of separation, such that identification with a localized form flowers as the mistaken understanding of who you are. In this way, the ideas of me and not me fully solidify at this level, and the experience of identification as a limited, localized form is strongly supported, as it is the fundamental belief of most human beings. So, who or what is your true nature? Your true nature cannot be objectified, yet you can know yourself via what you do, how you appear. This is what Krishnamurti meant when he said, "The observer is the observed." You are fully human. This is confirmed by your daily experience as follows. There is the experience of that which cannot be objectified. You may call it emptiness, sunyata, love, pure consciousness, awareness, God, or any number of other names for the nameless. The one thing that you can know for sure is that you exist. That is turiya, the knowing quality of being. Every day you sleep, and within sleep there is deep sleep and the experience of blankness. Within sleep you also dream as the dreamer and the dreamer's world, and you experience waking consciousness as the waker and the waker's world. Waking consciousness is the most solidified form of consciousness. This is the state of consciousness that is experienced at least 2/3 of the time. For most people, this experience is distorted by the superimposition of the mind's mistaken conclusion that he or she is a localized form that is separate from other people and things. While it is true that the waking state appears as a localized waker that is separate from the waker's world, it is not true that the true nature of your being is limited to the waking state of consciousness. This is unquestionably clear when you see the simple fact that you experience other states of consciousness every day, and that the experience of these distinct states of consciousness is proof that you are simultaneously fully human and fully spiritual. The spiritual aspect of your being cannot be objectified, as stated earlier, yet it is not unknowable. And it is realized when you see that what you are is unknown, or emptiness, expressing itself as all that which is objectified, and thereby knowable. And this is also confirmed via your daily experience. For example, when you smell a rose, you do not say, "My nose senses the scent of the rose," as there is simply the experience of the rose's scent. After the fact, you may superimpose the idea of a nose that senses it, because when your eyes are open, you see the rose as a form that is separate from you. Yet when you close your eyes, there is only the experience of smelling as the scent of the rose. Similarly, on hearing a beautiful piece of music or hearing an extraordinary singer, you do not say, "My ears hear the music or the singer," as there is only hearing at this moment. Again, when your eyes are open, you may falsely conclude that the musicians and singer are separate from you. Yet when you close your eyes, there is only hearing. Once this is clear, and you then open your eyes again, all there is seeing. In these examples, you also see that the idea of some separate form sensing via a particular sense door is added to the experience by the superimposing activity of the mind as it describes the experience. Ancient sages have stated the true nature of your being in Mahavakyas, which means great statements. There are 4 great statements in ancient Sanskrit texts, and the one that I feel best fits with what I've shared thus far appears in the Chandogya Upanishad as Tat Tvam Asi, which means that thou art. In Krishnamurti's words, this is the fact that the observer is the observed. Or simply, you are that which is appearing now. In summary, your true nature itself cannot be objectified. Yet like love, energy, and Om, it is not unknowable. Like love, energy, and Om, it is your nature to express yourself as what you do. What you do, how you appear, is the objectification of your true nature, in degrees of density, and most solidly as a body, mind, and world in space and time. And this is the means whereby you know yourself as simultaneously fully human and fully spiritual. In this light, for you, spiritual awakening's answer to the question, "Who am I?" is, I am known via how my true nature appears. I am simultaneously fully human and fully spiritual. My human form is temporary. My spiritual being is limitless. In biblical terms, this is stated as, I am that I am.